At the worst time, when I was watching the flames consume our home, consume our community center, our memories, everything, at the same time, I felt gratefulness that I was alive. Not only we survived, we don't have any injuries. Thank God. 30 seconds later would have been a different story. Honestly, 30 seconds later, I don't know how we would have emerged.
Welcome to Ordinary People with Extraordinary Stories. I'm Chana Weisberg, host of this podcast. Joining me today, we have an incredible guest. His name is Rabbi Yitzchak Lerman. And Rabbi Lerman wears many, many hats, which I did not even know when I called him up to interview him. He recently has had this tragic fire on his house, his Chabad house, and he's going to tell us about that. But Rabbi Lerman as well wears many other hats, such as, besides for being a rabbi and a Chabad shliach. He is also a reservist on the U.S. Air Force. He's a father of 6, and he is a teacher of post-Talmudic studies in a yeshiva in Morristown. So he has an incredibly busy life, and I'm so grateful that he made the time to join us today. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, Rabbi Lerman.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
So to start off with, I want to hear all about the different facets of your life, but let's start off with the fire that you've just tragically experienced. Tell us about that.
Sure. So it was Friday on August 8th, 2:45 in the morning. My wife and I and our family were sleeping. As you mentioned, we have 6 children. 4 of our children were with us. 2 of our children were at camp in Northern Virginia. And it's 2:45 in the morning. We're sleeping. My wife hears glass shattering, and we wake up to the fire alarm. The smoke alarm is blaring, and yeah, at first we weren't sure if it was a drill or not, um, or a false alarm. But we looked outside our windows, and there were orange flames in our windows.
Oh,
So we knew
wow.
this was serious. So I right away turned to my wife and said, "Grab the children." And went to grab my phone to call 911. I met my wife and children. Um, the way our building is structured, so on the bottom floor we have our synagogue, our offices, kitchen, classrooms for our we have Hebrew school, we have events, we have adult education. So that's on the ground floor, and
Where are you located?
we're in Rutherford, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Right? It's in Bergen County, sort of where Bergen County, Essex County, Hudson County, and Passaic County meet. Um,
mm-hmm,
it's in the Meadowlands area, which
mm-hmm,
uh, which which keeps us very busy as Chabad of the Meadowlands. We're
mm-hmm.
involved with we make programs at the American Dream Mall, MetLife Stadium. We have a mitzvah tank there at every single game. So
Oh,
we're
wow.
we're very busy. We have a lot going
Yeah.
on, and and yes, when this fire happened, excuse me. So we right away ran towards the exit with our children, and on the way down, I call 911. And they said, "What's your emergency?" I said, "Fire, fire at the synagogue, Montrose Avenue," and I just hung up. And we ran outside the front door. That side of the building did not have fire, and we ran across the street. And my wife turns to me and says, "The Torah scrolls." And we were
Mm.
an old synagogue. Our community was established in 1919, so over 100 years ago,
Wow.
and we
Wow.
had 7 Torah scrolls. And I turned around to possibly run back in to say the Torah scrolls, and I saw the fire wrap around the front of the building, blocking my access, and I knew that the building was gone.
Mm.
And right away, our neighbors ran out to greet us. They said, "What do you need? Do you need food? Do you need drinks?" And I said, "We're literally in our pajamas. My children didn't have slippers. They didn't have socks." So I said, "We need socks for the children, and for my wife, for myself, some T-shirts." The police officer showed up right away. He was right down the block, so he literally just drove up to the fire. And
And
um,
what about the fire department? How, like,
the fire department, they responded very quickly. They were
very
there
quickly?
within 2 minutes, I would say. They were there.
Wow.
And it's incredible because Rutherford has a volunteer fire department,
Really?
and
Wow.
nevertheless, they were there that
They were there.
fast. And when they
Wow.
came, they saw the fire was already in full force. And they called fire departments from all around. I believe 14 different precincts came, different towns came to assist in the fire. It was a 4 alarm fire. It was burning for hours until they were able to get it under control. Meanwhile, my wife and children, I moved them to one of the neighbors' homes to shield them from the fire, and
Mm.
so they could have some privacy to deal with. We were all in shock,
For
and
sure.
one of my priorities was to I want my wife and children away from the fire. They should
Mm.
be in a safe place. So I called up a community member. A community member came. This is 3:30 in the morning, and he brought them. He took my wife and children to Crown Heights, Brooklyn, to my parents' home, while I
Oh,
remained there at
wow.
the scene of the fire.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I say the first responders were the neighbors. They were the
Mm.
first ones there. They were the first ones to offer us help, and they were extremely helpful.
I guess you have a good relationship with them.
Yes.
A
So
close rela
yes, with all our neighbors, and in
Mhm.
fact, one of our neighbors after October 7th came over and said, "Our house is open to you. If you ever
Mhm.
need to go to a home, even in the middle of the night, our home is yours." And that's the home
Mhm.
we went to in the middle of the night when we needed them,
Wow.
because we had that relationship with them. In
Right.
fact, the fire department, we're very close. It's a small town, Rutherford. We're all everyone gets along. It's a wonderful place, and every Hanukkah for many years now, we call it a gelt drop, where we have the local fire department comes and we give them a box of chocolate coins. The firefighters climb on the top of the ladder and they throw coins on the children.
Oh,
So
so cute.
the fire department is part of our community,
Right. It's all
and
so small knit and
it's
close knit.
exactly. So when they came, the first thing they did was some of them came over to me, gave me a hug, started crying, and then
Mhm.
went to fight the
Mm.
fire because they
Wow.
know us. We all know each other. It's a small knit community. The mayor and the council were there.
Hmm.
They all came. The mayor probably came 3 o'clock in the morning and stayed there till 2 in the afternoon. He was there the
Wow.
entire day offering assistance. The council members came. The chief of police, also a good friend, was there the entire morning, the entire day. We had incredible support from the community.
Hmm.
But as you can imagine, it's very traumatizing.
It
You're watching the fire. You're watching it.
everything go up.
Yeah,
What was your like, I mean, this is like a parent's worst nightmare. You know, how old were you? You said you mentioned 4 children of yours were home then. How old were
yeah.
your children?
So our youngest is 22 months, and we have a
Wow.
4-year-old, an 8-year-old. She just turned 8 last week, and an 11-year-old.
Wow.
So
So
those
I'm
were
just imagining
young
your wife
children.
grabbing them from all the different rooms that they're in and just getting
Yes.
them up. Wow. And
Yeah.
what was your reaction when you saw, like, everything go up, and your wife's reaction, the children's reaction? How did they feel about it all?
First, it was just shock.
Mm.
We're looking at the fire consuming, as I mentioned, it's our home
Mhm.
and it's also the community center.
Mhm.
So mixed feelings. On one hand, I'm like, wow, God saved us from this miracle.
Mhm.
That could have been 30 seconds later. I have my call to the police department was at 911 was at 2:46 in the morning. I have a picture 2:47 that's time stamped with the entire building in flames. It
Wow.
was that soon. So we
It's
realized that
incredible that it happened so quickly. It's like,
yes, yes, it spread very quickly. So one hand we're like, whoa, thank God we're not there. I mean, that was the first question the neighbors, the police department asked: Is there anyone else inside?
right.
At the same time, I was mourning. We were all mourning for number one, ourselves, our home, all our
Mm.
pictures. We literally ran out in our pajamas,
Wow.
barefoot.
Wow.
My wife
All
didn't
the
even have her glasses.
memories, pictures,
Yes, on a
jewelry,
personal level,
keepsakes, heirlooms. Wow.
everything. I
Everything.
personally had a tremendous library of Jewish
Mhm.
books, and whenever I go to even a synagogue now or to a Jewish bookstore, it's like I had all these
Mhm.
and all our pictures. Um, I had everything saved on a hard drives. I had a backup hard drive, but both in
Right.
the home.
Right.
So
Wow.
all our records are gone, birth certificates,
Oh,
social
I
security passports. We started with literally nothing. I mean, we're starting now from
right.
nothing. At the
Right.
same time, I was mourning the community. There's
Mm.
so much history in this building. The building itself was built in 1891. It was a gorgeous home that the community purchased. This community began in East Rutherford in 1919 and then transferred to
Wow.
this building, this location, 1953, 1955. And
So much history.
So much history. The building itself had beautiful woodwork and ironwork and plasters. My office used to be a music room, so there
Mm,
was plasters with different instruments, and it was just a wonderful place. And yeah, so many memories. I have community members who tell me they had their bar mitzvah there in the 1960s,
wow.
and
Hmm.
all and it's just completely gone. There's
What about the Torahs? You mentioned the Torahs. There were 7 Torahs?
Yeah, so there were 7 Torah scrolls, and unfortunately, none of them made it. None of
Mm,
them survived. We one of the first things we told the firefighters was, if you find the Torah scroll, save the Torah scrolls.
right.
And it took over 3 hours to put out the fire. That's how large it was and how bad it was. And once the fire was out, we actually have a Jewish religious firefighter. He lives in Passaic, New Jersey, but he was actually the fire chief last year in Rutherford. And
Really?
whenever he hears um, 185 Montrose Avenue, that's our address. It doesn't matter day, night, Shabbos, non-Shabbos. He always
He
runs over.
comes.
He comes, and he was one of the first at the scene. And he pulled up and he said, "Where's the rabbi?" He came over to me, gave me a big hug, and that's when the shock sort of left me, and I just burst out in tears.
Mm, mm,
And I was like, "Mo, it's gone."
mm,
And so when the fire ended, the fire started at 2:45. This is like 6 a.m. now. He said, "I'm going in to try to find the Torahs."
mm,
And he and another few people, they went in. What I try to explain to people is we didn't have a fire in our home. Our home burned to the ground.
mm.
People ask me,
Wow.
"Were you able to go back into the rooms?" There are no rooms.
No rooms,
It's
nothing,
just
nothing.
rubble.
Mm,
And he and another firefighter, they went into where the Torah was. I told them the area, and they were digging, they were moving things. It was still smoking at 6 in the morning.
mm.
Um, there were still small pockets of fire, and they couldn't find anything. And it was very emotional for us. And
Wow.
over the next 3 days, we had a crew there going through trying to find anything. I mean, we lost all our silver, our
Mm,
candlesticks, our Kiddush cups.
mm.
Uh, I had a gorgeous podium lectern from my grandfather that was made for him, gone.
Oh,
I had a book that my grandfather received from his grandfather,
mhm,
gone. And the fire was so bad they could not find anything, any remnants. There's just nothing left. I mean, the arson squad came, the fire, they all wanted to investigate to see what
well, I
caused
wanted
the
to
fire.
ask, what do they know what the cause is?
They don't know. The damage is too extensive.
Do
There's
they
no
think it could be arson? Do they think that someone could have done this?
It's undefined. It's
Mhm,
unresolved.
mhm,
They don't have an answer. They don't know what it is, why it was so large, so quickly. They don't know. That's the
mhm,
answer.
mhm,
It's inconclusive. I
mhm.
believe that was their statement.
So
Uh,
I know you usually bury a Sefer Torah when it we
right.
have to bury it in the ground. Did you do that, or there wasn't even enough to
So
bury?
the fire happens Friday morning. Right away, I made a decision that we're going to have a service on the spot of the fire on our property the next morning.
How are
And
you gonna do that?
how are we going to do that? So community
Yeah.
members, community members were waking up, they all came to the scene, and everyone was just crying. I mean, this was their home.
Right.
It's hard to describe a synagogue, a Chabad house to people. It's a place where people just come in.
Mhm,
People just stop by. People come to study. People come to talk. People come to drop things off. People come to help with the kiddush. People come. The children come for Hebrew school on Sunday school.
mhm.
It's now we also had a camp running out of the property.
Oh,
If
wow.
the fire would have happened 6 hours earlier, we had 100 kids running and staff running around the property.
Wow.
We have, thank God, an acre property. We had a gym with 2 volleyball courts. I mean, it was an incredible place. And all of a sudden, people are waking up that their home is gone.
Mhm,
So what? Not only my home, it's the community's home.
mhm,
And people were coming in, and I said two things. Resolved right away. I don't know how I thought of it. My mind was just,
mhm,
in shock. But I said, number one, we're going to rebuild.
mhm.
We have such an incredible, thriving community. We're going to rebuild, and it's got to be nicer than before.
Wow.
Number two, I said, we're having a service here tomorrow morning.
Hmm.
And the mayor right away came over to me and said, okay, I'll arrange for tents to be set up here so you could
Oh,
pray tomorrow.
wow. Incredible.
Yeah, so the mayor of Rutherford, he arranged from a party rental place. He set up two tents. We ended up getting another two tents from Passaic because we had such a large crowd. And we borrowed a Sefer Torah scroll. We borrowed the Ark for the Torah scroll. We borrowed prayer books. We borrowed, the prayer shawl, the talit. And the next morning, over 70 people showed up. Um, community members,
Mhm.
locals came to show up, and it was very, very powerful.
What was
So,
the feeling? What did you feel when everyone came?
so first of all, my wife and children were in Brooklyn.
Mhm,
So I remained in New Jersey to be with my flock, to be with my community.
mhm.
And I stayed at Passaic, New Jersey. I walked probably about an hour each way. And it was very emotional for me and for the community. Anytime someone asked me how my wife and children were, I just remembered how I could have lost them.
Wow.
And I just kept bursting out in tears.
Mhm,
It was a very emotional service for me and for everyone. It was
mhm,
and the press was there, but I asked them respectfully if they don't record because it's
mhm,
the Sabbath, because it's
mhm.
Shabbos, and they were very respectful. I told them, they asked, can we interview you now? I said, now I'm here for the community.
Right,
Afterwards, I'll speak with you, but no recordings.
right.
And that's what they did. They're very respectful about that. So we had the service, very, very powerful. Actually, one of the people who walked in with me from Passaic to Rutherford was there were three teenagers came, and one of them I asked him, I said, "Where are you for the summer?" He said, "I was at your camp."
Ugh.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" He was literally this is his camp that he had spent already 5 6 weeks at, and there's nothing left. So it's very powerful, and the community members had prepared spontaneously. Different people brought cake. This one brought fruits, cut fruits. Someone else brought wine. Someone else brought a l'chaim. And after after the prayer service, we had a kiddush, which was
Mm,
very nice. People were celebrating, and we had a member. She is 94, I believe, and she got up and she said, we're going to rebuild. We're going to rebuild, and it's going to
mm.
be nicer. She's been with the community for over 60 years. And she said, we are going to rebuild. This is not the
So
end.
you
This is
you
the new
you said
beginning.
you were celebrating, like, what were you celebrating? The fact that you are not gonna be,
That we're
this
going
isn't
to,
gonna be the end, that you're gonna continue?
yes, yes. Like the
Mhm,
service itself was very emotional. Everyone was crying. But when the
mhm.
service was finished, it was like, okay, we're going to rebuild.
We're
We're
gonna get up from the
exciting.
ashes.
Exactly. We're
Mhm.
going to rebuild from the ashes. So that was very special. And then after everyone left, I was getting ready to leave. And one of the crews that were there doing the cleanup and searching, they said, Rabbi, we think we found the Torah scrolls.
Oh, wow.
And so
Wow.
I was still there with the four teenagers who walked with me from SAG, three teenagers, and we went and they found two Sifrei Torah.
Mm,
Now they weren't whole; they were
mhm,
burned, they were water damaged, but we found them. So we right away
mm,
put them into a safe, secure place, a respectful place, and we said, okay, we're going to arrange for a burial. And the next day, he called me, said, Rabbi, we found another one.
mm.
We
Wow.
found three Torah scrolls, um, and very very emotional. Uh, the Torah scrolls, we read from them. It's the most beloved item for the Jewish people. Something we celebrate, we hug, we kiss, we read, we lift up for everyone to see. We dance on it on Simchat Torah. It's very, very painful that we lost them, and we're preparing for them to be buried now. Hopefully, we're going to do that this Thursday
Mm,
at our community cemetery. And it's so we just actually I just opened one of them, and it was actually open to the place that I just read on Sunday. Sunday
mm,
was the 9th of Av, the
mm.
fast day of mourning for the destruction of the Holy Temple
Right, and
for
this
the
is
Jewish people.
destruction.
And out of the seven, the one I had just read from on Sunday had not survived, but we were able to recover. and I thought that was very emotional, very powerful.
Wow. 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 That's really something. I understand you also bench Hagomel. You bench there's a special blessing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so at the service we had that Saturday, that Shabbos at on our property. So I received it was the week of Tanan. That was the Torah portion, and we read the Ten Commandments, and I was
Mm,
honored with the to be called up for the section of the Ten Commandments. And afterwards, I said the blessings. And I said the special Hagomo blessings, thanking God for sparing our lives and the whole community. I was crying, and the whole community was
mm.
crying as they heard me thank Hashem for saving our lives. That was it was a very very powerful moment. And every
Wow.
time I pass the site, it's wow,
Well, where
mixed
are you
feelings.
now? Where are you now?
Where am I now? So since the fire, we spent a few days at my parents' house in Brooklyn, a few days in Morristown, New Jersey. My children wanted to complete their day camp. They were at day camp in Morristown, New Jersey. That's where um,
Mm,
they go to school. That's where they go to day camp. So they want to finish that last week. And
mhm,
the Morristown Jewish community said we want to make it happen.
mhm.
So someone
Wow.
offered us their apartment to stay at for a week.
Mhm,
It was incredible.
mhm.
Others in the community volunteered to make us breakfast and dinner because we had nothing.
Nothing.
It's very hard to explain to people
What
um,
nothing is.
what nothing is. People,
Right.
what I always thought was there are those who have more, and there are those who have less.
Right. Right.
Some have 10, some have one,
Right.
but 10 and one there's a comparison between them. There's more or less. Um,
What about your tefillin?
my children were gone.
Gone.
Fortunately, I had tefillin. I had my own personal pair of tefillin. I had two pairs of tefillin that community members would use.
Mhm,
I had a Megillah,
mm,
the book of Esther had written, also gone. I mean, I didn't have my
mm.
wallet. I didn't have anything. I literally
Right.
we just went out in our pajamas.
Right.
Um,
How did you I'm curious how you explained it to your children. They must have had a lot of questions about how did this happen to them? Why did it happen?
so most of them actually did not have questions like that.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
one of them did. You know,
mhm,
one of them said, questions like, "We're angry with God
mhm.
for making the fire, but we're happy that He saved us."
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so as I mentioned, I'm a chaplain in the United States Air Force. I'm usually on the other side of the table.
Right.
I'm usually the one who's number one comforting the families,
Mhm,
but also offering guidance. In
mhm,
the United States, I'll speak a little bit about the chaplaincy, the U.S.
mhm,
chaplaincy. The U.S. military chaplaincy is a very interesting occupation. In my current position, I'm an instructor. I train chaplains,
mhm,
all U.S. Air Force chaplains. In the U.S. chaplaincy, number one, we are the advocates for the First Amendment. So our job is to ensure that everyone's First Amendment rights um, aren't
honored.
enforced. Everyone has the
Mhm,
ability to um, practice their religion, Jewish, non-Jewish. I go to places where there aren't any Jews. I mean, I don't. In
mm,
America, we don't primarily deal with Jewish airmen, guardians, soldiers, um, Marines, etc. So that's number one. Ensuring everyone has their First Amendment, that the First Amendment right is protected.
mm.
Number two, as a Jewish chaplain, so I do Jewish events. I've done Jewish funerals, weddings. My family and I went to Japan last year. We were at
Wow. Wow.
Okinawa, at Kadena Air Force Base.
How
Okinawa's
long how
island.
long were you there for?
We were there for a little over a month,
Whoa.
and incredible opportunity.
With all your children? How
Well,
does that work?
so the Air Force. It's an interesting story. I don't know how much time we have, but right after October 7th, we were all Jewish chaplains, U.S. chaplains in the military were put on standby. That
Mm.
we may have to go, maybe deployed to Israel to help out. And I got the call and I said, "Could we please delay it? I'm happy to go, but let me delay it a little bit because my wife's expecting."
Oh.
They said, "Okay, we'll see what we can do." And then my wife had a baby boy, October 17th, so literally 10 days after October 7th, and we're having the bris, and there's another chaplain at the bris, a friend of mine. He comes up to me and says, "Did you get the call?" And I said, "I'm at my son's bris. I don't know."
Right.
And then I saw I had a missed call saying they were put on like a higher standby.
Wow.
We always have our uniforms packed. We could leave in 24 hours.
So you need to go whenever you're called, no matter what.
Pretty much. I mean, it depends on the situation, but we're ready to leave in 24 hours. And so I called, I returned the call after the bris and I said, the circumcision, I said, okay, baby's born, baby's circumcised, I'm on standby.
Right.
Um, and then I got a call right before the holiday of Hanukkah. This is 2023. And they said, number one, we want to know if you could be an instructor to instruct chaplains
Mm.
at the Air Force Chapel Corps College at Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama. I said, okay, let me just speak with my wife about that. They said, okay, number two, can you go 3 months to Okinawa, Japan?
Yeah.
I was like, definitely let me speak with my wife about that. I think she'll be okay with Alabama, if we're dealing with Japan as well. So long story short, we ended up going to Japan and they let me take my family, which was incredible. And
Wow.
in Japan, I did counseling, which I'll speak about in
Mm.
a moment. Um, we did many things at Okinawa, but one of the things we did was we made a Seder, a Pesach Seder in Okinawa.
Mm.
The other one on the
Mm.
island. So we had Marine soldiers, sailors, guardians, airmen, everyone came. Uh,
Mm.
we had the largest Department of Defense Seder in 2024 in Okinawa,
Wow.
Japan. So it was an incredible opportunity. So that's the second thing a a chaplain does,
Okay.
right?
What I mean, you were getting into the counseling, so but before you
Sure.
get into that, what made you decide to be, to do this?
That's a great question. Probably a longer interview. Um, so as you mentioned, I wear many hats, but there was something. It sounds cliche, but it's a calling. There's something that
Mm.
I knew I have. I knew I had more to offer the world. I try to maximize my potential, which is why I do so many different things. And I felt that there's I can influence my community in Rutherford. I can influence the future generations in where I teach at the Rabbinical College of America in Morristown, New Jersey. And I felt that I can have a greater impact on the
Mm.
world. And
And logistically, like, how does it all come together time-wise?
so
I mean,
it's
you must be
I
very efficient with your time, but how
uh,
does it all work?
so I'm pretty good at time management, but I compare it to juggling. So when you
Mhm.
juggle, usually there's at least one or two in the air. If they're all
Right.
in your hands, then it's challenging. But I try to juggle it, so there should be at different times of the year. Occasionally they do overlap,
Uh-huh.
and it's usually my school's been very accommodating and my community. So we have another Chabad rabbi and his family that work with us in Rutherford, the Bolter family, and they
Mm.
cover for us. They're fantastic people,
Mm.
and so we try to make it work. I try to schedule as much as I can during the summer months when I'm off from school.
Mhm.
So I actually haven't been in Rutherford for the month of August in 8 years. This is the
'Cause you were
first
usually
time
away,
I'm usually
right.
away. And
Mm.
this is the first time that I was actually here, and that's when the fire happened.
Mm.
So there was definitely a divine
So, yeah,
design.
how do you see that? Like, what do you see in that? What message do you see in that?
Right place at the right time. Why do I say right place, right time? I mean, maybe it would have been better for me not to be here. At the same
Maybe
time,
wrong place at the wrong time.
exactly. However,
Yeah.
the way I view it is that God wanted me to be with my community
Mhm.
during this
Mhm.
time. If I had to fly in from Alabama, Texas, Japan to comfort a community when I wasn't there,
There,
it's a
right.
completely different experience.
Mhm.
And for some reason, God wanted me to have this experience, wanted my children, my wife to go through this experience. And so, like we say in Yiddish, it was bashert. God wanted us to be here.
Wow.
And
So you were saying how you were speaking to your son, because you are usually a
yes,
chaplain, and usually you're the one who's comforting people, and here,
exactly.
how
So
was
it's
it
interesting
different?
because it's interesting. I understand the different stages of grief.
Mhm.
We go through a lot of training and counseling. So even for myself, I understand what I'm going through. Sometimes I'm feeling anxious or angry. I'm like, okay, I'm over here. It doesn't help
Mhm.
me a little bit. It's
Mhm.
like, okay, go for a walk. You're in this
Uh-huh.
stage. Don't judge yourself too harshly.
Uh-huh.
So it helps me process, but it's still challenging. I still have the same
Right.
emotions as everyone else. So even with one of my children who got angry, this that, it's okay for them to be angry.
Mhm.
We're
Mhm.
not going to stifle their emotions. We're just going to make sure that they have the right tools and help to process it.
So what did
'Cause
you do? What did you tell him when he said that?
so this was actually one of my daughters,
Your
and
daughter?
she what did I say? I said, "It's okay to be," like, one of my other children were like, how could you say something like that? We're angry at God." And I said, "It's okay to be angry.
Right.
It's okay to be upset when you don't understand. It's okay to feel pain.
Mhm.
It's okay to be upset and to cry when you're in pain.
Mhm.
At the same time, recognizing the miracles and to be grateful
Mhm.
for what we do have.
Mhm.
Both of those emotions are healthy,
Mhm.
and yeah, everyone needs to process it. And going through it, and the child says, "I just lost everything.
Mhm.
I lost my dolls. I lost my bed. I lost my privacy. We've been
Mhm.
living at different people's homes for the past 2.5 weeks.
Mhm.
It's unsettling." And for a
Mhm.
child to say, that hurts. And why didn't God do something different? That's okay. Jewish literature is full of angry prophets or
Right.
people who are crying out in pain. Even Moses cried out in pain. God, why'd you do this?
Mhm.
I came to Egypt and things just got worse. Why did you do that? It's okay to kvetch.
Mhm.
It's okay to be in pain as long as we don't get stuck there. As long as we are
Mhm.
able to be resilient and we're able to bounce back, that is okay. Now, I also know that I'm close to the situation.
Mhm.
So I called up High Lifeline, which is a great organization that helps people who go through traumatic events.
Mhm.
We are speaking to therapists. We are reaching out to
I was gonna ask
resources.
you that. Yeah.
Yes, we're definitely reaching out to other resources because I'm not an expert in everything, and
Mhm.
I'm too close to home.
Mhm.
Um, so but I recognize that we need it.
Sure.
I
For
recognize. I
sure.
mean, this is what I do. So in the military, where the military chaplain is the only one in the United States that has 100% confidentiality.
Mhm.
All other professions
Interesting.
are mandatory reporters, depending on what the person is going to say. The U.S. chaplains are 100% confidential,
Mhm. I didn't know that.
which is
Mhm.
it's a very unique position. We're the keepers of secrets, which
Mhm.
is hard, is difficult at sometimes.
Mhm.
At the same time, the military has done studies, and wherever there's a chaplain, the suicide rate goes down,
Mhm.
and the people feel safer because they have someone to speak with, and it won't be reported to their commander or to the medical board or to anywhere else. So
Mhm.
that's
So it strikes me as a rabbi, you're a keeper of secrets. As a chaplain, you're a keeper of secrets.
yeah,
Probably as a teacher as well, you're a keeper of secrets. Who keeps your secrets?
that's a good question. It's something that we speak about a lot in the chapel corps. Helping the helpers or the chaplain's
Right.
chaplain. And I've actually
Mhm.
had a few friends who are chaplains reach out to me to say, "Do you want to speak? I'm here for you,"
Mhm. Mhm.
which has been helpful. And sometimes I do call someone and say, "Hey, I just need a vent.
Mhm.
I just need a kvetch,"
Right.
and
Wow. Ha
that's good.
have you seen, like, a change in yourself in trust since you've gone through this and how you will be dealing with other people's challenges? Like, does it make it more personal?
Definitely. I realized I had no clue what, and I think most of us don't understand other people's sufferings. Like we
Mhm.
think we do, but
Mhm.
we don't. Um, Feeling homeless, not having a base. I mean, right now there are things. My car is my office. We're
Mhm.
storing things here. We're storing things there. Not having a home is extremely painful, disorienting, and like I mentioned, zero doesn't mean less. Zero means nothing. It's infinitely
Right.
disconnected from one. One means you have something. Zero means you have absolutely nothing. Um, someone called me. Okay, what's your address? I could mail it to. I don't
Right.
have an address.
Right.
I went somewhere else. They said we need photo ID. I'm like, I'm here to get ID because I don't have any photo ID. It's also, as I mentioned earlier, people don't. There's different types of fires. There's having a
Mhm.
fire in your home where one of your rooms got burnt,
Mhm.
and then there's having a fire where everything burned to the ground
Everything.
and you have nothing.
Right.
it's a type of pain that I've never, thank God, never experienced before, and I think in the future will make me more sympathetic, empathetic to people who are in similar situations because I mean the community. I just want to say the community has been incredible.
Mhm.
Both the
Mhm.
Rutherford community, the Jewish community, even not locally, people are sending in donations. We have a website that we set up, JewishRutherford.org, where we have a fundraising page up there to help assist with, number one, help assist with immediate needs, and
Mhm.
also to invest in the future. We want to build, as I mentioned, we want to build our community center larger and nicer than it was before. In
Mhm.
Jewish terminology, we say uh, "Yerida tzarech aliyah," right? When there's a descent, it's in order that we can ascend even higher. It's like take a
Mhm.
step back to jump further, and
Mhm.
that's how we're viewing this. And destroying in order to build even better and greater. And I've got incredible letters from different people from around the world. The people from Australia sending in donations, people from Israel, the people who are just
Incredible.
so caring, and the community has everyone has been incredible. No one understands what we're going through fully
Mhm.
because it's no one should ever have to experience it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Starting from nothing is difficult. Someone gave me $200 and said, "Here, restart your library."
Mhm.
And I walked into a bookstore and I'm like, where do I begin?
Mhm.
What's the first book to buy? I had thousands. I'm a rabbi. I have thousands. I had
And probably your pride and joy.
your pride and
That's
joy.
yeah,
Exactly. I used to call my office my holy of holies. That's where my
right.
my books were, and that's where I spent my mornings. I spent 2 hours there every morning studying and preparing for school, where I
Right.
taught. People would ask me questions. That's where I researched the answers. Every Shabbat afternoon, I spent 4 hours there studying. And this is my pride and joy. This is what
Mhm.
I love doing. And it was so hard to see it just disappear. And we
Mhm.
found scraps here and there, um, which we actually buried on our property. We dug a hole
Mhm.
on our property and buried the Torah
Scraps
scrolls.
of the books, you mean?
Exactly. So Torah
Mhm.
scrolls we bury in a cemetery,
Mhm.
that we hope to do later this week. But the scraps that we found, we buried on site in the ground, and it was so painful for me. My wife, the way my wife put it, she said, "These were your friends.
Yeah. Wow.
These were my." I had notes in them. I had folds and pages, things that I would learn. It was whenever it would come time for vacation, my wife would say, "Let's go away somewhere." I'm like, "Why?" She says, "Because otherwise you're just going to spend your time in your office." Which for me, that's what I enjoy. I love
Right.
to learn, I love to study, and it was, yeah, very painful for me. So
Right.
walk into a bookstore, it's like, where do I begin?
Where do you go? Right. Wow.
And I thought to myself, "Okay, the holidays are coming up."
That's what I was just gonna ask you. The holidays are coming up, Rosh
Yeah.
Hashanah, Yom Kippur. What are you gonna do? What is your community gonna do?
So, thank God we found a place where we could host our services. There's a college across the street, it's called Felician University,
Mm.
and they've been incredible. Right away,
Mm.
after the fire, they said, "Let us know, we can help. You need a place for services? We're giving you a place."
Mm.
And so we actually took them up on that offer. So they gave us, it's a little theater with 90 seats. And I said, "Can we have it at least till after Passover?" They said, "Sure."
Mm.
So
Aw.
we've already hosted two services there. We've
Mm.
been there for
Mhm.
2 weeks already. So we already bought new Sidurim, the prayer books. We brought the Chumashim, the Torah readings. We brought the Machzorim, the prayer books for Rosh Hashanah, for Yom Kippur. People donated yarmulkes, kippot.
Mm.
People donated the talisim, the prayer shawls. So we're going to be there for the next for the foreseeable future. So the community is settled, which is great, and Psic, New Jersey community they lent us a ark and a Torah,
Ah.
actually Torah scrolls actually lent to us by a family originally from Toronto. They now live in
Oh,
Jerusalem,
nice.
and so that's what we have. But someone called me and said, "Okay, what do you need
Mm.
Judaica wise?" And I was like, "Look," I said, "I have nothing. So let's go
Mhm.
through the holidays. Rosh Hashanah is coming up. I need a shofar. Yom
Mm.
Kippur is coming up. I need we wear a white garment called a kittel. It's like a white
Mhm.
robe on Yom Kippur. I'm like, eventually we're going to need a menorah for Hanukkah. We need a sukkah for Sukkot that's coming up.
Mm.
And just it's right around the corner, the high holidays. So these are all
And
things we need immediately.
what about you? Where did you get a house? Did you find some place
So
for you
we're
and your family to
hopefully
stay?
hopefully closing this week on a
Wow.
rental that we could
Wow.
stay. I mean, if we're a family of 8, thank God, and
Right.
it's
Did
not,
your
not
other children return yet from camp?
yes. So it was we notified them right away. Fire
Mhm.
happened 2:45. I sent them messages right away. Call me as soon as you wake up. My wife eventually woke them up at 6:30 in the morning. Said, "We want you to hear from us, not from the
Mhm.
news."
Mhm.
And it was difficult for them because they wanted to be with the family.
Mhm.
There's something huge going
Mhm.
on in our lives, and they're missing it. And one child mentioned that, I look forward to coming home, but there's no home to return
Right.
to.
Right.
So, but they came back. We brought them to the site, and everyone's doing well. Thank God, everyone's doing well.
Mm.
Um, and school starts next week,
Mhm.
so we're trying to finalize a place to live this week so we could settle in, so we could begin next week, begin school, get back to work, and
Wow.
yeah, we're taking it day at a time. We're trying to accomplish as much as we can every day.
What message would you like to tell people out there who hear this story?
That's a good question. It's hard to compare people's situations. Everyone's situation is unique. However, I speak with many people who are going through difficult times. Some people are going through difficult times financially, others are going through difficult times emotionally, etc. And my message is take it day by day. I'm not going to
Mm.
rebuild my home, my synagogue, my library in a day. It's probably going
Mhm.
to take a few years.
Mhm.
And at the worst time, when I was watching the flames consume our home, consume our community center, our memories, everything, at the same time, I felt gratefulness that I was alive,
Mm.
that I was here, that we're unharmed. And so my message is let's be grateful. Again, everyone's situation is unique, so it's hard to
Mm.
share one
Mhm.
universal message. But we're allowed to be in pain. We're allowed
Mhm.
to kvetch. We're allowed to feel sorry for ourselves. But at the same time, we also have to acknowledge what we need to be grateful for. I'm
Mhm.
grateful that my family is not only we survived, we don't have any injuries.
Mhm.
Thank God. 30 seconds later would have been a different story.
Mhm.
Honestly, 30 seconds later, I don't know how we would have emerged, how
Mhm.
we would have left the fire. We would have probably be injured terribly. I can't even imagine. When I think about it, it's crazy. It's mind blowing.
Mhm.
So even in our worst times, we have to be grateful for what we do have, and it's okay to have both those emotions at the same time. Yeah.
That's
Mourn,
great. Yeah.
same time, be grateful.
How do you focus on that gratefulness? Like, it's so easy to get caught in that pit of like what you've lost and the darkness of what you've gone through. How do you focus on the positive and the gratefulness that you are okay and that no one was hurt and all that you're saying?
It takes effort, and it's a conscious decision. When things are difficult, it's okay. Now I'm gonna in Hasidic philosophy we have something called hitbonenut, which is like contemplation, meditation. Sometimes we just have to. Well, what I do is sometimes I'm like when things are difficult. It's not always rosy, and sometimes when things are difficult, it's like okay, first of all, acknowledge it.
Mhm.
Right, I don't have to suppress that things are difficult. Acknowledge it, but also make a conscious decision to think about okay, what am I grateful for as well? To think about it.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
doesn't that won't necessarily happen automatically. It's something that we need
Mhm.
to meditate, contemplate, to think about. And they're
Mhm.
not contradictions.
Mhm. Is there something that you draw on from your vast amount of all those books that you had and all those teachings that you usually do that you draw on for to help you get through the difficulties?
So it's interesting. People tell me that I have.
Mhm.
My community members say, "Oh wow, what your attitude, you're still smiling, you're still, walking around, you're still that
Right.
must be from your teachings, from your studies, from your background. That faith in God, that knowing that we're not alone. So
Mm,
it's something that I don't necessarily realize myself, but at the same time, others are pointing out to me that there's definitely we spend our lives studying God's ways as much as we can understand, and especially Hasidic philosophy teaches us to be joyful, try to understand that everything that God gives to us is a gift,
mm,
even though we don't necessarily see it. Sometimes the darkness, the darkest part of the night is right before the light is right before dawn, right before the light's about to shine, and I try to focus on that. That
mhm,
even negativity can bring positive results, can bring something positive. And that was sort of my message right after the fire happened, is that we're going to build even greater.
mm,
Heaven forbid, I would never want this fire to happen. I mean,
mhm.
we're going to be suffering for a while. It's going to
Of
take us a while to
course.
get over this.
Sure. For
But at the same
sure.
time, right away, my thought was something bad happened. How can we transform it into good?
Mm,
How can we take this tragedy and rebuild even greater? How can we make our community even greater than it was before? And we were doing so many things.
mhm,
What more can we do?
mm. Really unbelievable. That's beautiful. Last question. For the many things that you wear, the many hats that you wear,
Mhm.
is there a favorite? Like, which do you enjoy the most? Teaching, chaplain, Chabad rabbi, shul rabbi?
So first of all, family is number one. For me,
Okay.
family is top priority. I'll drop everything else for family.
Mm,
I'm number one, I'm a husband. Number two, I'm a
mm,
father.
mm.
Those are my priorities. Everything else comes secondary. So I
If you
feel that
got that straight, if you got that right, then everything falls in place, right?
yes, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, in the military, we speak about this. They say if someone retires as a colonel or general after 20, 25 years, but his family's not at his side, he has failed
Mhm,
as a father, as a human being.
mhm,
And that's something that's always been very important to me. Um, so God designed my path that I should do all these things. Many people become a Chabad rabbi, and that's it. They do. That's their full
mhm.
time job,
And
and
that
that's
is full time,
and it is
right?
full time. I mean, we have
And it strikes me, I mean, each of the things that you do, it seems like each of them are full time.
they are they are
Yeah.
they are, and so originally that's what I wanted to do full time. But the path that God designed for me was that I became a teacher first, and only a
Mhm,
year later became a Chabad rabbi. And
mhm,
once I began teaching, I realized I love it.
mhm,
I love teaching. I love the classroom. I love the learning. I love the students. I taught 6 years high school, and now 7, maybe 8 years now at college level,
mhm,
and I just love it. I don't want to drop anything I do.
mhm.
Um, which ones I love the most? It depends. It depends what time. During vacation, I'm like, oh, I love being on vacation. I love doing when I'm at the
Well,
military. I love doing the
it seems like
military.
your vacation is, though, to go up to Japan to be a chaplain.
Yeah, I don't really have vacations. That's the truth.
Right.
Whenever I'm off for school is the busiest times of the year at my synagogue.
Right,
At and then during my summer break, I go serve in the military. So I don't really have vacation, but I just enjoy doing. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I enjoy
right.
doing it.
I guess
It's
that's a
very
secret of how you're able to do it all, the enjoyment that you have with all of it.
yes, yes.
Any time efficiency tips or time management tips that you can share?
So I get this question a lot because
Mhm,
I do a lot.
mhm,
Um, so there's a few things. Number one is little things I get done right away. If
mhm,
I could do things right away, I get them done. If it's a
mhm,
quick email, if it's quick paying a bill, I put all my bills on auto pay, but I still like to, see what's going on. Whatever I could make more efficient, I do make more efficient. Little things I try to get done right away. I have schedule for different things. My time is very scheduled,
mhm.
or it was before this fire.
Right.
It was very scheduled. It was very disciplined. There's certain things I do in the morning. There's certain things I do during my lunch break. There's certain things like every hour is full.
Mm,
But I also have scheduled time to relax
mhm.
because I'm a human being and we
Right.
need to relax as well. But one of the things was, yeah, have times for everything. Number two was get rid of the small things. I don't let letters or bills just pile up on my desk.
Mhm.
If it's small things, get rid of them right away.
Right away.
I write everything down. If I have things, I used to, when I was younger, I used to remember everything, but now I have to put everything into the calendar. I write notes in order that I shouldn't forget it, and
Mhm.
just try not to. I try not to leave anything, sitting around unless it's something big which needs more time. Okay, then I schedule time when I'm going to deal with that
Do it.
specific
Mhm.
task. But if it's something small,
Mhm.
knock it out.
Do
Knock
it
it
right
out.
away. That's good advice. Well, Rabbi Lerman, well, thank you so much for joining us and for your insights. We wish you success in your rebuilding. Tell us again where people could donate if they would like to donate for your new shul and
Thank you. So
new
it's
center.
jewishRutherford.org.
Hmm. Okay.
Jewish Rutherford. There's a link on our website to donate, and we really appreciate everybody.
Thank you so much for taking the time and to speak with us. And we wish you success in the days ahead, the difficult days ahead, the days of rebuilding. And may you rebuild so much more bigger than what was.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There were so many parts to that interview with Rabbi Lerman. To have lost everything, we just can't even imagine what it's like one day, one moment having everything intact, and then the next moment it's all gone. It really goes to show how his priorities are so intact that he keeps talking about his gratefulness, the gratefulness for his family still being alive, the gratefulness for his family not having been injured, and so forth, his gratefulness for all the people who are helping him. And that was really, I think, a big lesson to learn from his demeanor and his behavior, how we can all find that gratefulness, that there's something that we can be grateful for, even when we are going through something so difficult and something so hard. At the same time, he acknowledged that it's okay to feel what he's feeling, to feel the anguish, to feel the heartbreak, to feel that everything was destroyed. I liked how he spoke about how he spoke to his children about that. I also really, really was so amazed by all the different parts to his life. His work as chaplain in the U.S. Air Force was really quite incredible. The different things that he does there, and the way he finds all those different the times for all those different components in his life. And he did touch on that, how we can find the time for all the different parts of our lives as long as we love doing it all and as long as we prioritize what's important. He gets through with the small things very quickly, and that was interesting to hear. I'd love to hear what you took from this interview with Rabbi Yitzchak Lerman and his family, who have gone through such a tragic situation, such a tragic burning of their home, their Chabad house, their shul, and how they are just rebuilding and making sure that when they rebuild, it's going to be even better, which is really a message for all of us as well. When we have gone through something, how we can really just go ahead and rebuild, take the time to suffer, to express our pain, but at the end of the day, to really look at it as an opportunity for something bigger and better. If you enjoy watching these podcasts, I hope you are subscribed to Chabad.org/extraordinary. We are on YouTube as well. Share the video with a friend, someone who you think might enjoy it. Drop us a heart, drop us a link, drop us a comment, tell us what you think about it. We'd love to hear from you. We love your feedback, and we love that you are so much a part of this extraordinary community.